Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Trinity and today let's talk about confidence. When I first started my YouTube channel and I asked around for video ideas, the topic of self-love and confidence would come up. So in my last pep talk video, I covered a topic of how to be happy and love yourself with an emphasis in healing and getting through an especially hard time when you feel like it's almost impossible to regain control of your life. I filmed that video in January 2020 and ever since then a lot has happened. Life has continued to happen and now we're over a year and a half into the pandemic. I think we all found our own ways to deal and adapt to a changing climate. I for one picked up quite the hobby. I became a gym rat. I'm one of those people now that wake up in the morning, makes a little eggs, something protein packed, and heads to the gym in her little cute Gymshark fit, and then I go to sleep on Fit TikTok thinking about what I'm gonna wear the next day and what I'm gonna work on the next day. Yeah, I became one of those people. But it wasn't always like that. As I've mentioned in my last video, I had to unlearn this attitude of mine. This attitude of I'll be happy once I look like this. I'll be happy and love myself once I do better than this other person. Or I think I'll be happy if I act a certain way that pleases other people. But you see, by doing that, I was limiting my happiness. I made self-love seem like something that had to be conditional, when self-love should always be unconditional. I had to redefine what confidence means to me in a way that expands further than trust in myself, trust that I will be okay in any difficult situation. I had to find a way to put my understanding of confidence in this like umbrella term that also hovered over body image, my physical appearance, the way I carried myself, the way I treat others. Confidence is the way that you carry yourself, it's the way that you speak and treat yourself, and it's also the way that you treat others. The way that I like to think about it is that hotness, confidence, you know, self-love, all that is a mentality. And what I mean by mentality is that it's an abundance mentality. Everyone knows that comparison is the thief of joy, but not everyone can resist that temptation to lurk. But you know, you lurk, you get hurt. That temptation to really self-sabotage and go down this little dirt hole of, you know, self-hatred. But it's okay, like we're only human and we slip up sometimes. Also because sometimes what we see on social media doesn't really help that. There are things that help keep me grounded from a scarcity mindset. And today I would like to share them with you. When you have an abundance mentality, you realize that there is no need to compare yourself to anyone else because there is enough to go around for everyone. And as cheesy as it is, there's only one you. When you have this abundance mentality, it's not that you're denying jealousy, it's not denying that you wish you had this quality that this other person has or the attention that this other person gets. It's acknowledging that you have these feelings. It's accepting that your feelings are completely human and you realizing that your attention can be rerouted in a healthy way. Like, trust me, I've had that stomach drop feeling so many times, and sometimes all we need is to just take a step back, just a couple seconds, and ask ourselves, why do I feel like this? And pinpointing the root of that feeling. Could it be because you feel like it's you versus this person? You're fighting over attention over this person because of this person? Is it because of your parents' influences onto you, their standards, and now you have high standards for yourself? Rather than forming some kind of irrational hatred towards someone that you feel jealousy, you can reroute that feeling into admiration. Let's say you're scrolling on Instagram, right? And you see a really pretty Instagram model. Instead of feeling, wow, like I wish I looked like that, and you start to kind of hate that person because she has all those qualities that you wish you had, instead of feeling like this, you can reroute your thinking into, wow, she looks good, or simple, you know, good for her. And I know it sounds so cheesy, like how do you change that into, wow, like women support women so easily? But let me break it down, okay? With abundance mentality, you realize that someone can be so beautiful, and despite them being so beautiful, that doesn't take away from the qualities that I have and that I enjoy for myself. We can appreciate and we can celebrate other people's beauties without diminishing our own worth. By doing this, you gain a peace of mind because you're now changing the narrative inside your head and you're no longer fixated on someone else or something that is out of your control. And it always feels good to spread good energy for yourself and especially for the person that receives it. This isn't like a one-time fix kind of thing, but when you keep having this kind of positive voice inside your head when you think of other people, or people that you would deem as competition, or people you feel insecure about for whatever reason, it eventually gets easier. This abundance mentality can also be applied to letting go of any like negative energy in your life. Some things and some people are the way that they are, and it has nothing to do with you or your actions, and that's okay. They're simply just not for you. Whatever is meant for you will not pass you by. Let's dive deeper into body image. So prior to educating myself about fitness, nutrition, I had the same mindset about every other girl here. I watched those Chloe Ting ab videos, that Alexis Ren ab video. I wanted that nice hourglass figure, the one a little slim thick but with the little wide hips, because for me, I have hip dips, and I didn't even know that hip dips were a thing to be insecure about until social media came around and told me that there were workouts that could help me fill them out. It could help a little bit, but that is literally bone structure. Seeing that every day on my feet did not help my perception of my own body. Self-love and confidence is acceptance. It's doing your research and allocating your time and effort into things that you want and can change. It's taking into account genetics. Some people are born into that little slim thick figure, and some people like me were born into this little rectangular shape. Like, my body is wide and I cannot fit into. So while I was watching all of those like ab workouts on YouTube, I didn't count that my body could never look like this other person's body simply because of my own genetics. However, I can put in the work to become the best version of myself, stronger and healthier than the person that I was the day before. I see so many TikToks of beautiful, beautiful women on my FYP page. FYP. In my For You page. This girl would literally be doing nothing offensive. Like, she'll be dancing, or she'll be just being herself, like trying on clothes or something, and then the top comment would be something like, "Yep, I'm not eating anymore." It makes me so upset when I see comments like that. I don't blame anyone for having that mindset though, because prior to developing a healthy relationship with food, I used to neglect eating proper meals. And it'll be like this little, you know, celebration, like,
skip 2 meals today, feeling skinny, or you skinny with your friend.
I thought that I would only be happy again if I could fit into these pairs of shorts that I would always fit beforehand. But through my research and seeing my own mental and physical progression, I've learned the importance of gut health, and that food is fuel. You need food to fuel your energy, lessen stress, especially anxiety, and on top of that, for your juicy gains. Fitness goes beyond the physical because it's something that is progressive. It's you checking in every day for nobody else except for you, because you dedicate that time slot, those 1, 2, 3 hours a day, purely for your own growth. When you invest in yourself, you literally reap 100% of the benefits. Okay, enough about fitness. I'll go more into detail about all things fitness in a separate video. As president of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, I have gone a long way. 2 years ago, you would not catch me in a napkin-sized crop top like this. I would be too self-conscious about my stomach pudge, my arms, minus the gains, you're just genetically ginormous and jiggly. Armpit fat, I just felt like I was always top heavy minus the boobs. While working out has greatly helped, the realization that life is just too short and nothing is ever that serious has skyrocketed my confidence. Having that mindset, it made me go from researching nice push-up bras or bralettes that made small boobs look nice, or baggy sweaters so I wouldn't even have to think about it. It made me go from that to, yes, I have small boobs, but what about it? Well, what about it? Since I'm gonna have these for the rest of my life, why not give them a little love and wear something that makes me feel confident about the assets that I do have? Similar to posting on social media, the more you showcase yourself in a way that makes you feel confident, the easier it becomes. Wear something that makes you feel sexy or makes you feel confident, whether that be an oversized t-shirt or that little tiny napkin crop top, whether it be you in full face of makeup or you natural. Don't get me wrong though, I will never ever love my armpit fat the way that I have learned to love and accept my tiny boobs. But that's the beautiful thing about self-love and confidence. I remember this quote from my psych class, and I'm not even sure if this fully applies, but the quote goes, "The whole is greater than the sum of its parts." I have enough love for myself to love my body wholeheartedly, despite its flaws that I may not entirely love. Sometimes the quote, "it is what it is enough to reroute that fixation. Don't wear something just because it's trendy, but also don't be afraid to follow a trend if you feel like that is something that you feel most confident in. But every choice that you make," right, this is important, "seek validation only in yourself." I had to check in with myself and ask, am I posting this because I genuinely feel hot? Or am I posting this because I want other people to know that I'm hot? And while it's okay to feel like that, check to see if this is a priority and not the others. If I were to choose the alternate, then I'll be limiting my happiness to someone else's actions and approval. And we don't want that. Self-love isn't always pretty. It's holding yourself accountable and asking those difficult questions that you sometimes don't really want to know the answer to, because sometimes it's just easier to do. And those things like validation from other people, especially from guys, might feel good temporarily, but when you feel like that is the root reason why you're doing the things that you're doing, is it really self-love? Confidence comes from embracing what you have already and what it allows you to do. A way you can see it is that a body is a shell. My body is a shell that allows me to do the things that I love to do, like, you know, getting gains, going to different places, and just experiencing life. I love my body, and you should love yours as well. Self-love isn't always going to be something pretty. It isn't always face masks, intense real retail therapy, which I do participate in sometimes. It's more than doing things that allows you to indulge and feel good in the moment. It's discipline. It's holding yourself accountable. It isn't something that's easy, but it's something that you have to do. You have to love yourself in order to love others wholeheartedly. You're only human, and this confidence, this self-love, it comes over time. One day you can look at yourself in the mirror and think that you're the sexiest person alive, and then the other day you might be having like an emotional breakdown over like a pimple, a really tiny pimple, or maybe it's a big pimple. It doesn't matter. But remember, treat and speak to yourself like someone that you love. Like, think about this. Would you even notice or even care if a friend or a family member or your loved one has a pimple on their face? Would you even care that much about it? So why don't you apply that to yourself as well? You realize that what you have is innately beautiful, like love, good intentions for other people. Beauty exudes and it translates physically. So when I feel like I'm down in the dumps and like I'm comparing to myself, I just feel insecure, I'm having a bad day, I think to myself, what do I have in my life? I have the best friends in the world. I have family that loves me. I have a roof over my head. I have an education going on for me. Because I'm happy with who I am at core, the physical stuff comes afterwards. And I realize what's important. And what's important is what's inside. It really is. When you start feeling that confidence within yourself, those little things like that pimple, this freaking armpit fat, it won't matter as much anymore, because you get to focus on the good things about yourself and you're happy about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that my words have reached and resonated with at least one person. I want to be that friend for you all, so feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, any comments, or any suggestions for what you would like me to film next. You are beautiful inside and out, even if you may not realize it yet. All right, bye bye.